This isn't just harmless dreaming. This is a distinct archetype. One Carl Jung meticulously analyzed, a type more dangerous than you might imagine. This is the lazy, ambitious man. He's not overtly destructive. His danger is far more insidious. It's corrosive. It undermines. It subtly poisons everything it touches. Today, we peel back the layers. We expose the psychological architecture. We reveal why this specific kind of man, this blend of inert potential and soaring aspiration, poses a hidden threat. A threat to himself, a threat to those around him, a threat to the very fabric of progress. We're not talking about a lack of talent here, or a simple lack of motivation. This is far more complex. It is a fundamental disengagement, a deep psychological split. Carl Jung spent his life exploring such splits. He taught us that what we deny within ourselves, what we refuse to integrate, does not simply vanish. Instead, it festers. It develops a life of its own. It eventually erupts, often in destructive ways. The lazy, ambitious man is a living embodiment of this principle. His ambition is real. His desire for success is potent. But his willingness to engage the brutal work, the consistent effort, that is profoundly absent. This creates an internal paradox, a psychological pressure cooker. It makes him dangerous. His danger isn't found in overt aggression. It's found in the quiet sabotage, in the subtle manipulation, in the insidious draining of energy from others. He lives in a perpetual state of almost, always on the cusp of greatness, never quite reaching it. And for that, someone or something else must pay. The persona of grandiose promise. Every human being wears a mask. Jung called it the persona. It is the social face we present to the world, a necessary adaptation. It allows us to navigate society. It helps us function. But for the lazy, ambitious man, his persona becomes his prison. It transforms into a grand, glittering facade, a front of future glory. He projects an image of boundless potential, of brilliant, nascent ideas, of revolutionary insights. He's always just about to launch, just about to close the deal, just about to start his empire. His words are compelling, his vision often articulate. People believe him, at first. This persona is expertly crafted. It's designed to impress, to gather resources, to attract support, all without the need for actual sustained effort. He talks with such conviction. He outlines elaborate plans. He hints at connections. He speaks of grand achievements. They are always on the horizon, never quite in the present. This creates an aura, a magnetic pull. Others are drawn to his supposed brilliance, to the promise he embodies. They invest their time, their energy, sometimes even their money. They are captivated by the dream, a dream he himself has no intention of building, brick by laborious brick. Jung warned against confusing the persona with the true self. For the lazy, ambitious man, this confusion is total. He believes his own performance. He has convinced himself of his inherent, effortless superiority. This isn't conscious deceit. Not entirely. It's a profound self-deception, an active avoidance of reality. He presents himself as the next big thing, the silent genius, the misunderstood visionary. But behind the curtain, there is inaction. There is inertia. There is a deep, unacknowledged fear of the struggle. This grandiosity is a dangerous illusion. It drains the resources of those who believe in him. It saps their energy. It wastes their time. They are left with shattered hopes, with unfulfilled promises. Because the persona of the lazy, ambitious man is not a bridge to reality. It is a carefully constructed wall, a barrier against authentic engagement. It is a promise that perpetually remains unfulfilled. The shadow of inertia. Beneath that shining persona lies a truth, a brutal, unacknowledged reality. Jung called this the shadow. It encompasses everything we deny about ourselves, our weaknesses, our impulses, our unlived possibilities. For the lazy, ambitious man, his deepest shadow content is inertia itself. It is his profound aversion to sustained effort, to the grinding, unglamorous work, the work that actually builds things. He denies this laziness fiercely. He intellectualizes it. He rationalizes it. He calls it strategic patience, or waiting for the right moment, or discerning the perfect opportunity. But the shadow does not disappear simply because it is denied. It festers. It grows in the darkness. This unacknowledged inertia turns inwards. It creates a wellspring of resentment. Resentment towards those who do the work. Resentment towards a world that demands effort. Resentment towards his own unfulfilled potential. This bottled-up energy needs an outlet. It can't stay contained. It leaks out. It manifests in insidious ways. Passive aggression, constant criticism of others' efforts, subtle undermining, even outright sabotage. Consider the meetings he attends. He rarely contributes constructively. He offers critiques. He points out flaws. He highlights risks, never solutions, never proposals born of his own effort. His input is designed to deflate, to subtly diminish, to justify his own inaction. He is a master of the backhanded compliment, of the thinly veiled insult. He might praise a colleague's achievement, but then add a subtle, crippling caveat. That was a good job. Of course, it would have been perfect if, or impressive for a first attempt. This is the shadow at work, projecting his own inner stagnation outwards. He cannot stand the sight of true, productive effort. It reflects his own deepest failure. It reminds him of his own denied shadow. This makes him dangerous. He will try to bring others down. Not overtly, but with the gentle erosion of spirit, with the quiet whisper of doubt, with the consistent dampening of enthusiasm. Because if others succeed too much, too visibly, it exposes his lie. It threatens his carefully constructed persona. This is why you must understand him. This is why you must see through the facade. If you are finding clarity in these words, if you are starting to recognize these patterns, this is your cue. It is time to deepen your understanding. This channel is dedicated to pulling back the veil, to exposing the hidden truths of the psyche. Consider making it a part of your journey. Subscribe now. Do not miss what comes next. The Complex of Entitlement. At the core of the lazy, ambitious man's psyche lies a powerful complex. Jung defined complexes as emotionally charged groups of ideas or images. They function like magnets, pulling in experiences, shaping perceptions. For this man, it is the complex of entitlement, a profound, deeply held belief that success is not earned, it is owed. He feels inherently deserving of recognition, of wealth, of status, without having to undergo the crucible of effort. This entitlement is often rooted in early experiences. Perhaps he was overly praised as a child, given rewards without genuine achievement. Or he absorbed a cultural narrative, a belief that destiny or talent alone should carry him. This complex distorts his perception of reality. He views the world as a system that should bend to his will, a cosmic vending machine, where ambition is the coin and immediate gratification is the output. No work required. This psychological predisposition makes him a master of manipulation. He won't build. He will leverage. He won't create. He will orchestrate. He looks for shortcuts, for loopholes, for ways to extract value without contributing equivalent effort. He might charm others into doing his work. He might take credit for ideas that aren't his. He might exploit relationships, all under the guise of collaboration or leadership. But his true intention is parasitic. He is not interested in mutual growth. He is interested in personal gain, without personal sacrifice. This entitlement explains his reaction to setbacks. True setbacks, the kind that humble most people, the kind that prompt introspection. He doesn't see them as opportunities for growth. He sees them as injustices, as proof the system is rigged, as evidence of others' incompetence or malice. The entitlement complex shields him from self-reflection. It prevents him from acknowledging his own part in his failures. He remains stuck in a state of arrested development, forever convinced that the world owes him something, and forever resentful when it fails to deliver. This is why he cannot be trusted. His internal calculus is fundamentally flawed. He will always prioritize his unearned gains over your shared success. The projection of personal failure. When a man carries such deep-seated inertia, when his grand persona inevitably clashes with stark reality, the psychological tension becomes unbearable. He cannot admit his own failures, his own laziness, his own profound disengagement. To do so would shatter his carefully constructed identity. So, what does he do? He projects. Jung taught us that projection is an unconscious process. We see our own denied qualities, our own unacceptable impulses, reflected in others. For the lazy, ambitious man, this mechanism is highly active. His internal frustration, his simmering resentment over his own lack of achievement. It must find an external target. He will find fault in everyone around him. Colleagues are incompetent. The market is unfair. The system is corrupt. His partners are unsupportive. His superiors are blind. He is a professional scapegoater. He meticulously constructs narratives where he is the blameless victim, the misunderstood genius, held back by the lesser minds around him. This projection becomes dangerous because it directly impacts relationships. He saps morale. He erodes trust. He creates a toxic environment. He will actively undermine those who are successful, those who do put in the work, because their success is a mirror. It reflects his own unaddressed shortcomings. He cannot stand to see genuine progress, not when his own life remains stagnant. So he criticizes, he gossips, he subtly sabotages, he spreads doubt, he casts shadows, not because he is evil, but because his own unintegrated shadow demands it. It needs a target, a reason for his own stasis. His criticisms are rarely constructive. They are often laced with envy, with an underlying bitterness. He is not trying to help others grow. He is trying to diminish them, to bring them down to his level of frustrated inertia. He wants company in his inaction, company in his silent suffering. This is the unseen war he wages, not against the world, but against the parts of himself he cannot face. And you, if you are caught in his orbit, become collateral damage. You become the screen onto which he projects his own unlived life, his own profound failures. The unindividuated life, a state of arrested development, the ultimate danger of the lazy, ambitious man, from a Jungian perspective, lies in his fundamental refusal of individuation. Jung believed that individuation is the lifelong process, the journey of becoming a whole, integrated individual. It involves confronting one's shadow, incorporating the anima or animus, and aligning the ego with the deeper wisdom of the self. It is a path of arduous self-discovery, of painful honesty, of consistent effort. The lazy, ambitious man avoids this path at all costs. He prefers the illusion of progress over the reality of growth. He craves the external trappings of success, but recoils from the internal work required to achieve it authentically. His life becomes a series of aborted attempts, of grand announcements, of brilliant ideas, all of which evaporate into thin air because he lacks the courage, the discipline, the integrity to follow through. He is a man perpetually stuck in a state of psychological adolescence, where potential is abundant, but maturity remains elusive. This arrested development is not merely inconvenient, it is tragic, and it is dangerous. Tragic for him, as he lives a life of profound emptiness, filled with unfulfilled desires and a gnawing sense of what could have been. Dangerous for others, because his unlived life, his unintegrated potential, becomes a source of pathology. It spills out. It affects his relationships, his work, his family. He cannot give what he does not possess, and he cannot possess true fulfillment without engaging the deep work of the self. Jung knew that true ambition, the kind that leads to lasting achievement, is rooted in this process of individuation. It means accepting one's limitations, facing one's fears, and enduring the painful process of becoming. The lazy, ambitious man skips these steps. He wants the harvest without planting the seeds. He wants the masterpiece without mixing the paint. This is why his impact is so corrosive. He embodies the antithesis of growth. He represents stagnation masked as aspiration. Understanding Jung's framework, the archetypes, the shadow, the complexes, the journey of individuation, provides an unparalleled lens, a way to see through the illusions, to understand the true depths of human behavior. If you seek to master your own psyche, to navigate the complexities of human nature, then you must immerse yourself in these insights. I have curated a powerful collection of discussions dedicated to Jung's profound wisdom. They are designed to guide you deeper into these mysteries. You will find the link to this dedicated playlist in the pinned comment below. Dive in. Your journey inward awaits. The unconscious. Search for a scapegoat. When the lazy, ambitious man's grand plans inevitably collapse, when his carefully constructed persona begins to crack, he faces a critical moment, a reckoning. Will he finally confront his own inertia? Will he acknowledge his denied shadow? Rarely. Instead, he defaults to another profound psychological defense, an unconscious search for a scapegoat. He cannot tolerate the idea of personal responsibility. The burden of failure is too heavy. It would dismantle his fragile self-image. So the blame must be externalized, always. He will weave intricate tales of betrayal, of systemic unfairness, of external forces conspiring against him. His narrative will always cast him as the innocent victim, the one who was thwarted, the one who was misunderstood, the one who was sabotaged. This defensive mechanism is particularly dangerous in times of crisis, or when he holds positions of power, because he will sacrifice others, without hesitation, to protect his own fragile ego. He will point fingers. He will shift blame. He will throw colleagues, or subordinates, or even loved ones, under the bus, all to avoid the unbearable truth that his own inaction, his own laziness, his own lack of commitment, is the root cause of his downfall. He rarely learns from his mistakes, because he never owns them. This cycle perpetuates. He moves from one unfulfilled promise to the next, leaving a trail of disappointment, of broken trust, of shattered projects, and always a scapegoat left behind. This relentless deflection prevents genuine insight. It blocks all possibility of growth. He is trapped in a repetitive pattern, a psychological loop, where ambition perpetually clashes with inertia, and blame is the only outcome. His danger, therefore, is not merely that he achieves nothing. It is that he actively prevents others from achieving. He contaminates the environment with his projections. He undermines accountability. He creates a culture of blame. He is a psychological parasite, drawing energy, deflecting responsibility, and leaving a residue of unresolved conflict. So, how do you recognize him? Look for the gap, the chasm between rhetoric and reality, the grand pronouncements versus the stagnant results. Listen for the constant externalization of blame. Observe the subtle energy drain, the feeling of being subtly undermined. Notice the constant potential, never actualized, and the simmering resentment that lies beneath the polished surface. Protecting yourself requires clear boundaries. Do not fall for the promise. Do not invest in the potential. Demand concrete action. Demand tangible results. Refuse to be his enabler. Refuse to be his scapegoat. Recognize that his battle is internal. His psychological struggle is his own to bear. Do not allow him to make it yours. The world does not need more empty promises. It needs genuine effort. It needs authentic ambition. It needs men who are willing to do the hard, uncomfortable work of building, of creating, of becoming. It needs men who are willing to face their own shadows, to integrate their own inertia, to step onto the path of true individuation, not for the sake of an external prize, but for the sake of becoming a whole, integrated human being. This journey of self-discovery, this confrontation with one's own limitations, it is the only path to real strength, to real impact, to real peace. The lazy, ambitious man avoids it. He runs from it, and in doing so, he becomes a hazard, a quiet, insidious danger to himself and to everyone around him. If these words have resonated with you, if they have opened your eyes to a pattern you've observed, or perhaps even recognized within yourself, then this is your moment, your opportunity for profound reflection. Carl Jung said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." This means confronting the parts you'd rather deny, the parts that hold you back, the parts that make you dangerous to yourself and others. Comment right now and let me know what shadows or parts of you that you had to overcome to reach this state where you are at. Maybe your story is exactly what someone needs to take that leap. Your willingness to engage with this truth, your commitment to genuine self-awareness, that is your power. Do not let it be eroded, not by others, and certainly not by your own unexamined inner landscape. Share this video with someone you think needs to hear this right now. Someone who might be caught in this dynamic, either as the lazy, ambitious man, or as a victim of his influence. Because in a world of facades and easy promises, truth is the most powerful currency. Welcome to the work. Welcome to the depths. Welcome to the demanding, exhilarating journey of becoming truly whole.